faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, this is Walter, and yeah, I've been off again for about 2 weeks. I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to do a show. Actually, I had intended to. My first thought was, I'm going to do a show because I did not do one last week. I was actually going for I'm going to say it wrong. It's not a big deal, but basically a colonoscopy, basically getting checked for polyps, which I only had one tiny one. It wasn't anything big. I never heard back. So I assume it's not a big deal. And it is still, it's funny, it's another month past my birth date, because I was born February 7th, and it is the end of May 7th. It's going on to May 8th. Anyway, the most ridiculous thing I heard, or, crazy thing I heard, it is ridiculous, though, in my opinion, was this whole thing about, let me see if I can fix this mic. It's going to drive me crazy. Was, maybe make sure I can get that right. Trayvon Martin getting a college degree. He was the one who got shot by the quote-unquote the white Hispanic or whatever it was. It's just, when are people going to kind of realize and grow up? So I just had to get this out, so if I screw it up, it'll be out of the way. He had gotten a posthumous. I'm not saying it right, I know. And I listened to it like a million times. I went on to Google where they actually have a proper way of saying things, and I still can't say it. Bottom line, he got a degree after his death. It was back in, I think, 2012 now. God, it's hard to believe it's that many years ago, if it is. It's been quite a few years ago, though. So somebody came up with the insane idea, some college university, I think in Florida, to give him I think it's in Florida. I really don't know. I think it is. A bachelor, like a BA in aeronautics science or something like that. So, wow, you can get a degree after you're dead for 5 years. You can actually get a 4-year degree. It's amazing for doing nothing because literally you're dead. So, how far is this going to go with this whole political correctness thing? I think that's definitely, I'm not the only one, but it's definitely pissed me off quite a bit. Let's see, it says Florida Memorial University announced like this past week they gave him a degree. And like I said, it's something like aeronautics or something like that. A bachelor's degree, though. Maybe it's not a BA. Maybe it's a BS because, well, it is BS. But I mean, BS as in far as Bachelor of Science. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand how we are supposed to continuously feel like people out there who don't want to offend or, take care of themselves and just want to act like big children should continuously be treated like they're china glass or something, or, like fragile. No, we got to take care of all these people that are, severely victimized. And it's just gotten to the point I'm tired of it, really, and I'm tired of hearing about it. And I'm not tired of talking about it because my friend Matt will say, well, why do you talk about it all the time? Because it just, the focus seems like it's always on me and my little universe where I live, that everybody seems to not focus on themselves. They focus on me, and they focus on my problems, but they can't focus on their own. And then this story comes up where this Trayvon Martin gets a 4-year degree after he's been dead for 5 years. Miraculously, he gets some high-level degree. I mean, what am I supposed to think? Well, I'll just let another thing to slide. We have a bunch of, I don't know what to say, these stupid people in our society, and their focus is, of all things, I hate to say it, I'm not saying they're all stupid, they just don't know better, is constantly also, which also really distracts or disturbs me, is constantly bickering and bitching and complaining about Trump, how he's a whack job and stuff. Well, what about the past 8 years before he even got in office? What do you call that? Given our last president, right after he got elected, not too long afterwards, he got a what was that? I can't remember now. I'm drawing a blank. Some prestigious award for doing nothing, absolutely nothing, just because of his ethnicity. They decided to. I can't even think what it was. I'm sure somebody would probably remember. I'm just not doing a very good job, and I wasn't going to talk about that. But it's just okay because I'm done with the Trayvon Martin thing. I am kind of curious what they gave Barack Obama. It was some type of something, and he didn't do anything for it. It was just because, again, of his ethnicity, they decided to give it to him. It sounds really rotten for me to say that, but it's the absolute truth. The man didn't do anything that favorably, but yet he is considered one of the best presidents by a minority group, but by people who actually understand our system. He didn't do anything. Seriously. He just destroyed things. Let's see if I can find it real quick. And, I didn't want to be up all night. I'm sick and tired. My one friend, he just can't stand Trump. He can't stand anything that's conservative. Even in France, he was happy when their this woman who was running for prime minister or whatever did not get elected. He kind of made her out to be the next worst thing since Adolf Hitler. And it's you know what? I'm tired of that crap. It's not true. I'm sorry. I'm just if I can't find it. I can't. List of honors received from Barack Obama. Medal of Freedom, Distinguished Public. Yeah, he apparently got a lot of. They gave him just rewarded him because he was the first black president, and that was the reason for doing so. Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous. From 2005 until when he left, they gave him different things, and it doesn't make any sense. I think it was a Nobel Prize or something. Just because he's Barack Obama. That was the only reason. Yeah, he got, in 2009, he got the Nobel Peace Prize. 2005, he got the NAACP Image Award. 2006, Best Spoken. Yeah, well, I would go with that. 2007, NAACP again. 2008, Best Spoken again. Yeah, it just goes on, but that whole thing, the biggest joke was the Nobel Peace Prize. It was okay, what did he exactly do to get that? Well, let's see. He is African-American / what we used to call black, and that was about it. So, yeah, I sound really nasty for saying that, but come on, it's the truth. You can't hide the truth. I'm not going to get a Nobel Peace Prize if I would get elected because... Well, it's the truth, too, on that. I'm not well-spoken. But, you don't hear one, well, I'm going to get one, which you're going to say, well, now you're contradicting yourself. I'm just using this as an example. If the shoe was on the other foot and I was I don't know, maybe I would be contradicting myself. I was going to say if whites were the minority and I got elected president, would I get a Nobel Peace Prize for being white? I seriously doubt it but then I just answer my own question. If I was a minority group, maybe I would. I don't know. Bottom line, if anything you take from what I just said, just think how how stupid that sounds. Okay, I'm the minority. Whites are the minorities. I get elected as president, and then I get a Nobel Peace Prize for that reason. Well, what exactly did you do, Walter? Well, I did nothing. I just got elected. That was about it. I'm the first elected white American. Because what if it was the shoes, if the whole tables were turned? Now, you probably would think as distorted as people do now, but the bottom line is it just sounds stupid. And that's the only reason this man got any praise at all for the last 8 years he was in office when he was. Now all you hear for the last 5 months is how horrible Donald Trump was. And it's like, but you have attacked the man since November, actually, but when he had taken office 5 months ago, you just started way before then. You went back in November. So the whole thing is just, again, it's sickening. I'm trying to think because I just want to start out with that. Anyway, I hope I can eventually take my quote-unquote my show on the road because it's really difficult right now. I have my laptop. It's not that big. It's my Mac Pro, and I haven't used it in a while because I don't have a place to set up my laptop just for my own use at work because I had a desk for almost 2 or 3 years, I guess. And it just finally they got this trend of people coming in that had taken over all these office desks for some project where I'm working at in my building has taken over every single desk. They have not left one open. I think it was just a way to get rid of people like myself and other ones who basically made themselves a little too cozy at the job. Like, I didn't sit around, though. I'm always moving. But they didn't like seeing people sit there, so they got rid of everybody's desks, and they just basically relocated people from other parts of where I work into the building I work now for the last 4 years now. 4 years, I think. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's 5 years. I lost track. I've been at this company for 15 years when I work out now, and the whole thing just is sickening. Different story. So anyway, the first thing not too long afterwards when I know I no longer had a desk even just to sit at, just for no reason, just to relax, just to unwind, not have people pest me. Well, when I finally had no place to go, I basically am like a hobo at plant site that I just go wherever I can plop my ass. And that being said, what I end up doing is I looked online, and Apple actually made a better offer. But I went to Apple's website and looked at their refurbished iPads. It's like, I'm not a big iPad fan. I've had different iPads over the years, and I never really had found them to be that user friendly. But then I finally figured, well, you know what? Let me try one more time. I sold my old iPad to a friend. He gave me like $200 for it. And and it was great because apparently there was a button that was broken on there. He fixed it himself. He took it apart and fixed it. He knows how to, unmend the seams in order to fix what needed to be fixed. And he said it was not easy. It was like, well, it's better you than me. And it was out of warranty, too. And I bought the damn thing brand new, but somehow it started having problems. Like most Apple stuff I'm beginning to discover have problems once the warranties are done. So anyway, what I ended up doing is I looked around. I was like, it was actually just an accident this time. Well, okay. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I apologize. Disregard what I just said just 2 seconds ago. But anyway, I went on Apple's website. Let me finish this one story first, and then I'll go into the next one because I really did mess up. But yeah, I went on to Apple's website. I found out, hey, they have iPad Pros. And it was like, you know what? That was one thing I never thought I was going to buy. Of course, I never thought I was going to buy a Mac, the brand new Mac Pros. And I have one right next to me. On the left-hand side of me, I have one. And so I got two things that I thought I would never own that Apple had actually put out. Now I actually can say that I've owned every Apple product in existence up to in the last 10 years. I've owned everything Apple has pretty much put out at some point in time. So the Apple Pro, though, has been good because it's a lot bigger. and I've figured out how to get used to it. In fact, where I work, we use Apple iPads for our, they call them SOPs in our work list. Any work that's getting written down is now written on an iPad. I know I've been fighting that for a while. They finally went through with it, and you know what? It's like the best thing to me since sliced bread. But even though it's not using Apple's interface, it is an Apple product. I know how to get around with it, how Apple products, touchscreen Surface works on the iPad. So the Pro has actually helped me with my work thing. And also now I tweaked the iPad that I put on an email account so I can actually email stuff from myself to work. Unfortunately, I can't use my regular email. I had to open up, I had one, but I made it more user-friendly because it's the only thing that works on my iPad Pro is on Outlook, especially, is my Gmail account. So it's great because you have to write down everything you do every night at work. You have to keep a list so the boss knows exactly that you're not, well, at least with me. He wants me to write out a list of everything I've done for the day, so he knows that I'm, again, not goofing off. Anybody else, it's okay what they do. For me, you got to make sure you make that list, Walter. So it's like, okay. So I've been doing that. I actually have been doing that. And now with the iPad, it's easy because I actually got a keyboard that it actually looks like, believe it or not, it looks like a glorified but smaller, like I'm trying to think of the iPad Air, or not iPad Air, Mac Air, whatever you call it. Because I put a keyboard on that it's like actually aluminum. Is that the way you say the word? It's that metal, that silvery metal for the bottom of the keyboard. So it blends in with the top half of my system, my iPad. But it's a 12-inch iPad. But the difference is Apple has not put out any laptops that have touchscreen. So I have technically the only thing that is both a, what do you call that? An iPad's considered a type of, I forget what they call these things now, but oh God, I'm drawing a blank, and I should know this stuff because there's other companies like Amazon puts out their own type of touchscreen laptop, or and Surface is another one from Microsoft. I don't know if that helps or not. I'm not going to look it up. So I got the best of both worlds. I got a touchscreen. The programs are obviously set up a lot differently on the iPad, but it's not that hard to get used to. And I can slip it. It's big, but it's not thick. It's a lot thinner than any type of laptop you would buy on the market. So, and it's actually much thinner probably than most of your. I might have to look this up now because it's gonna get to me now. I'm just gonna put in touch pads. Because Apple just calls their stuff, has to call their stuff something different. No, I just put in touchpad and because I didn't want to go this far with this, but I already did. What am I at? Wow, I really do fly with time. And yeah, I got the bigger one. I got a 128 iPad Pro, but here right afterwards for a little bit more money. They didn't have them. They didn't offer them at the time. But now they offer 256 ones. But the one I bought was refurbished. That's what I was going to say. It was a lot cheaper. But what I paid for 128 gig touchpad or iPad, if I knew at the time that they were going to eventually put out the 256, I would have waited a little longer because it wasn't that much long. It wasn't that long after that they put out the bigger one. So, yeah, I'm going to put in touch computer on Amazon. Yeah, so it just kind of got me a little bit. It got me like really upset that they did that, but at the same time, I don't know what to say. Kindle's like another one that does it, but I can't remember what you call those damn things. Kindle was like one of the first ones to kind of come out with. Oh, tablet PC. I'm sorry. Why did it take me so long to find what I was looking for? Yeah, there's like different types of tablet PCs, but mine right now is a tablet PC, so to speak. It's an iPad Pro that's the size of what used to be standard for a laptop. But the nice thing is, though, I also have the I'm drawing a blank on a word. I have the option, or I have a full-size keyboard that is like a regular laptop keyboard. So that's another thing that is really cool. So combined, it's awesome. It's more protection to the screen as well, because the keys don't hit the screen, but at the same time, since you got that nice metal back that goes over top of the screen that is not touching it at all, that's definitely keeping it when you have it closed, that the screen's not going to get all scratched up, your touch screen. So it adds an extra layer of protection. Now, the weird thing is, this keyboard I got, I can't remember the company who made it. It's Bluetooth and it's battery operated. And I was like, oh no, because you have to it's a rechargeable battery operated. So I'm thinking, now, am I going to be charging this keyboard like constantly or what? So you know what? I've had it for about a month, I would say now, and I haven't charged it at all. Besides initially when I got it in the mail, I had to charge it that time. And afterwards, knock on wood, now it's going to probably die because you got to plug it in to a USB connector, which I do now. I actually have a power outlet that has a USB connector, so it won't be hard for me to plug it in. But yeah, so far I haven't had to charge it at all for over a month. You're probably saying, well, you're not using it that much, Sam. Actually, no, I use it an awful lot, especially at work when I do have some time off. A break, every night for a month. That's like an hour here or there on breaks that I'm just on the keyboard, typing things, texting up paperwork for the boss to tell him what I did and mailing it to him. So yeah, I'm actually hitting it pretty hard, no puns intended, and it hasn't died yet. So I'm really impressed. I wanted to actually acknowledge that with this company. Of course, I don't know the name. And it's the only company that makes like something that looks like Apple would have put out themselves, but they didn't. I don't have it open, so I don't have it around me. Otherwise, I could look. So anyway, it was funny the other day. What I was trying to lead into was, I can't say this name, but there's some company that puts out this little box that works perfect with Apple. It works perfect with Audacity, and it actually works fairly well with iTunes. So that's what I'm using right now. The simple name, let me look at it real quick. The simple name is called Scarlett 2in2 or something. Actually, I think it's called Scarlett 2i2. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the TV set. I hate doing that. And it's great. It's a little big. It's not super big, but it's a little big. So just recently, the same company that makes this, I'm not going to even try to attempt to tell you the name and then have my friend Matt laugh at me. I was like, you can't even say the name of the stuff you use, like equipment? Yeah, that's pretty much the case. So they put out one, though, from this company. I could spell it out. It's FOCUSRITE. They put out one called iTrack Solo, Lightning and USB compatible audio interface. Bottom line is, it works with it's a smaller box. You can only hook up one mic, which, look what I'm doing now. It's only me. And I can take it on the road, which is perfect. I can take this it's a smaller unit. It looks like my other one, but it's smaller. And again, the nice thing is, this thing is like designed to work with your iPhone, your iPad, because it has a, like the new phones only have those Lightning connectors. Well, that's all this has. It has that that little small connector you use on your phone. So, and my iPad has that too. So more so than my phone, probably. I think it's the same thing, but yeah, I wanted it for the iPad because I do have GarageBands also on the iPad, and I was like, yeah, it would be kind of neat because it's more mobile. I mean, I can just carry my duffel bag and throw everything I need in there, and I can actually bring a show literally on the road because you don't need any external power unless it gets a little weak. You can bring the cables, but it's not going to take up that much room for an iPad. It's going to take up very little room, in fact. The box itself, the little unit, is fairly small. I think it's like this. When I looked at, let's see if I can find a picture again. It's about the size of your hand extended. So it's not that big. What is that? I don't know, like 3 inches. Well, I more than 3 inches, like 5 inches, 6 inches. It's not that big. So, and it's the unit that I have right now, which I can continue to use, for especially when I interview somebody else, is about ever so slightly bigger, maybe about the same size. I don't know. But it's the bottom line is this one is nice because I can hook it up to iPad, which is nice. I don't need my laptop. But if I do interviews with other people without handing the mic back and forth, when I let them have their own mic, then the other one will come in handy. It was like $100. I know it sounds like an awful lot of money, but it really isn't. And on Prime, it was like 2 days shipping. So I just ordered it the other day. I'll probably get it tomorrow or on Tuesday. So it's the same company who makes my other, little unit. And it says record instruments, vocals, and it says that Lightning compatible iPad. So I do have a Lightning iPad. Pro was the first to actually have that, I guess, or maybe a couple generations back with the other iPads. But hey, it's perfect. And it does definitely say that's why it's called, instead of that 2 or whatever, would they give it like strange names, or they actually have one that just says i1 or not even i1. It's just called 1 or something. They actually call this one iTrack. Like that little lowercase I that Apple made so famous. Well, they put this on the unit because it's basically it's designed for an iPad and an iPhone that you can, do podcasts, recordings, and stuff like that on. It says aluminum. I always get that word wrong. Just like my iPad. It's same. It's not like my other unit's red or like that dark red. That, I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but I'm just saying it's that same silvery look or metal that Apple uses for their laptops, their unibody laptops, and everything else. So they were trying to stick with that whole Apple themed with this company. They're trying to kind of mimic that look, but keep it their own. So that's kind of cool when it says signal halos for level and clip indication. I might have said that word wrong. I don't know. I don't know much about the other end of production work, but I do know how to use this interface and how to make my podcast. So this is perfect. And the mic I have, if I ever wanted to, the mic I got right now, it came with the cable as well. It was like $50. That was really cheap. And obviously the sound is really, really good. For a $50 mic with the cable, that, you can't get any better than this cable. And I got 2 mics. I don't need another one. And these mics are like, if anything happens, you don't cry over it. You just buy another one for $50 because generally a decent mic costs you like $200 and up. This is a cheap mic and it sounds just as good. So, and it's also very, mobile. You can throw it in the duffel bag with the small unit, the iPad, and you're ready to go. You're ready to make your podcast on the road, and you're not taking up a lot of room. And the keyboard, since I have a keyboard on the bottom of my unit, it makes it actually easy too. But also because I can just open it up and the screen stays, upwards. It's not like you have to lay it flat. You can if you want to. You don't need the keyboard, but it's there if you want it, and it's a good way of holding up the unit. Now, you're probably saying, well, why don't you just if you got all that stuff, why don't you just bring a laptop at that point? Well, trust me, it's actually a lot lighter, definitely much thinner, and you put it in the duffel bag, it won't be as noticeable, I would think. It would be a lot less noticeable than like a laptop, because it takes up a little bit more of the bag's space. And you need a lot more power, too. An Apple iPad does not need that much to run on. Now, it is going to be draining the battery, hooking up this external unit, because that actually feeds off. Generally, these units feed off of whatever you got it plugged into. So, just to be safe, for an extra, I think, $14 on Amazon, I wasn't sure if they did that, but they did put a connector. And that, it was $14.88. iPhone 7 Lightning adapter to 2 Lightning adapters, so it makes your 1 into 2. Because unfortunately, with the iPad, the only issue, and with the new Apple Mac Pros and stuff, apparently they only have 1 Lightning connector for everything, or that USB-C for everything, and that really kind of sucks because you can't connect anything else to it besides one thing at a time. They took everything else off of them, and obviously iPad only has that 1 connector. So I got this little unit for $15 in addition to the, so it wasn't that much, and then you got your tax, your shipping is free, and it wasn't that bad. So I'm very curious to see how this works out. If worse comes to worse, the nice thing about Amazon products, especially under Prime, you can ship them back, and generally, once you drop it off at like a post office or UPS, and they get note that because they give you the barcode and they give you the shipping label to return. And sometimes shipping will cost you some money, and then other times, if it's something like just did not work out or it was broken, they won't charge you for the reshipment. But once you drop it off at the UPS store, like just say I don't want this unit, or either thing, like the cable connector that will give me an extra 2 ports as opposed to 1 on my iPad. Or if I don't like this iTrack Solo Lightning audio interface, if I don't like that, I could basically just say, write Amazon and say, hey, this is not working out for me. This is not what I expected it to be. I'm not happy with it. And as soon as I drop it off at the As soon as I drop it off at the post office, they give you your money back, like right then and there. They put it back on your Amazon credit card. So there's like no wait to get your money back. So that part's really nice. I gotta stop. There's some weird horror movie on. I can't remember the name of this thing. Pluto TV. I really love that, by the way. Something on Apple TV that I put. It's an app. You actually can download Pluto TV to any computer device. Apple, Amazon. I'm sure Apple. I'm trying to think. Android, probably, I would assume, and definitely Windows products. You can download this program called Pluto TV. It's an internet TV network that has gotten, I would think it's gotten a lot more popular because it's got some really good stuff on there. But it's a regular TV network, and it's absolutely free. So there's that. Boy, I went too long with my other stuff. I'm already at half an hour. I always try to keep my shows within, like I said, a reasonable amount of time when I can. You know what's really weird, by the way? I got some strange stuff. The story on New York Post, it says, the horrible thing you never knew about ducks, and it's basically about ducks. God, I wish I had that soundbite I had before. You mean like fucking? Excuse me. Yeah, there's like 2 ducks basically going at it. They're humping. So, don't want to go into the story. I don't want to spend all night because it's late enough for me. I just kind of want to relax and enjoy myself at this point. Like a selection of sex toys from the vending machine in a strange alien bar, ducks, it says duck penises come in ribbed, ridged, and even toothy varieties. This isn't a New York Post article. That was just like the bullet point in this article. It's like, yeah, I really want to know about a duck's penis. I don't know. Is there like really nothing else better to talk about besides a duck's penis? I don't know, but it is from the New York Post. Yeah, I had that open twice for some stupid reason. Now, here talking about that being crazy, a friend sent it to me. A friend just sent this article to me as a joke. Talk about penises in more ways than one. Ministries, Al Jurgensen, quote unquote, it's an article too. I can suck my own cock. Wow, that's really impressive, Al Jurgensen. Interview with Ministry frontman Al Jurgensen on getting old, fat, and lazy, and on the benefits of being double jointed. So the highlight of his article, by the way, was that he can suck his own penis. I'm really impressed by that, Al Jurgensen. It's sure it's not Al Jurgensen. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to like Al Jurgensen back in the past, especially, well, I can't say I'm any less angry than I was years ago, because I'm just as angry as I was before. Well, let's just say for hypothetical reasons, like I am less angry than I used to be. And taking it from that perspective, yeah, I used to listen to Ministry for that reason. It was just a way of just letting out my anger, was by listening to like this heavy metal industrial music of Al Jurgensen's. But, you know, and he really has transitioned from all the drugs he has done. He looks like a hillbilly now. He looked like a decent model-looking guy years ago, like a runway model. Now he looks like some fat hillbilly hick who is missing most of his teeth. So it's nice to know he can suck his own fucking cock, though. Okay, I'm done with that story. Oh, talking about fat-sucking cock people, whatever. This one was hilarious. I saw this the other day. This is no joke. I found this on my own, so I'm really proud of myself. Not really, but I just had to say that. WorldNewsDailyReport.com has posted, or had posted, babysitter transported to hospital. It's a big fat black woman after inserting a baby in her vagina. Cincinnati, Ohio, a 31-year-old woman was admitted to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center yesterday. Well, I don't know how, this was like last week. After the 14-month-old toddler, she was babysitting, got stuck in her vaginal cavity. Yeah, the baby got stuck in the vaginal cavity. No, the woman shoved the fucking kid up her vagina. Her vagina. So what an idiot. So that story just I had to read. And here's another one with a clown story, which gets me really mad because, you know, it's all this, again, that it's either one side of an issue or the other side. And, you know, this is one of these kid tweens that's now a teenager. She's not a tween anymore. She's a teenager. And how out of control she is. Bella Thorne. My friend sent me this article, and it's just ridiculous. It came from Daily Mail last week. Look, no bra. This is what it's titled, by the way. Look, no bra, exclamation point. Bella Thorne proudly flashes her underboob. She's not wearing a bra. She's wearing a cutoff shirt that her boobs are hanging out underneath, while wearing a flimsy crop top to theme park with Kendall Jenner, ex-Jordan Clarkson. And then she's got these, like, booty shorts on, or whatever you call them. So she's got, like, her breasts, which aren't very big, are literally hung out because she's, you know, got a shirt that's cut so low that you can see the underside of her breast. And then she's got these, they got tons of pictures of her ass, too, also, in these shorts. I mean, it's all white. She's wearing completely white shorts, the Timberland white shoes, and a shirt that's cut so low that her breasts are literally, you could almost see everything up to the nipple. So, but these are the same people who want to expose themselves, but again, if the wrong person would just so happen to look, not even that they wanted to, it's just like you can't help missing a train wreck, that you are the biggest creep pervert in the world. Not that she's got any issues, it's you. So it's just, I don't even want to read this article, but it was from last week. I thank my friend Todd he made a joke out of it. I like, this is not a joke. She was like on this kid show for tweens on Disney. Some dance show when she was like 12 years old. And now she's like Miss Prom Hooker. Which is surprising because the other girl, she's like a light-skinned black girl or something. She's actually was on the show with Bella Thorne. Has taken she's gone, went into a different direction. She actually went on to do other stuff that's less crazy. And one of the things the other actress did, I can't remember her name, she will be in the new Spider-Man movie, Homecoming. So, she's taken the high road. She's actually the other actress who also is probably like, 16 years old, 15 years old, I don't know, has taken the high road. She's actually done some, kid shows that are, not so crazy, very, not so trying to show off your body. They're more like entertaining for kids. And then she's made the quantum leap now because, hey, once you get into a superhero movie, you're kind of set for life practically because people are, of all ages are going to recognize this other actress who, again, is, taking a high road, which I have a lot of respect for. I think she was supposed to play, I believe, the girlfriend to the new Spider-Man. And there was a big issue about that because they said, I can't remember which girlfriend it is of Peter Parker's, but they were saying people were making a big deal out of, whoever this actress is, she's black, the character's supposed to be white. It's like, who cares? The girl she's a good actress. I don't care. I really don't care. So I have a lot of respect for her, too, that she's not some type of slimy person like the other one has became, Bella Thorne. Another reason I know Bella Thorne's name was because her name is in the article. The other girl, I just, I'm waiting for Homecoming to come out, and by then I'll tell you the actress's name, the other one. Used to play on this show, I can't remember, some dance show for Disney Channel. Anyway, here's a funny article I saw, and I'm trying to keep this at the hour mark if I can. This was from World News Daily Report once again. Wow, I'm striking them up. Former Beatle Ringo Starr claims the real Paul McCartney died in 1966 and was replaced by a look-alike. I seriously doubt it. That's just total bullshit, but whatever. Again, I'm not here to read stories. I'm not here to give you news. I'm just here to try to entertain you, but I thought that was just funny. So I just had to mention it. And you can find that on World News Daily Report if you want to read actually this article where, again, Ringo Starr says that Paul McCartney had been replaced. He died years ago, back in November 9th, 1966. 3 years after Doctor Who came out, because I know that much. I know, that's not important. Yeah, what was I going to say? There's something else. Oh, okay. Yeah, a friend sent me this really crazy story. He didn't send it to me. He actually sent it in a private message in a friends group on Facebook. But I still find it very entertaining, so I will mention it. And it was from Channel 22 iNews. I don't know where that's from. But the article actually says, Popeye's manager arrested for allegedly dipping chicken in cocaine-based flour to increase business sales. So I've never eaten at a Popeye's yet. I've heard that it's pretty good because it's like spicy Cajun chicken. But after reading that, I don't know if I really want to at the same time. I just think it's funny. Yeah, I'm going to bleed through these stories pretty quickly, so I won't annoy people too much. Oh, here was another one funny. This one was wideopenspaces.com. I just love the name of this website, by the way, because the story I saw, I didn't read it, and I really don't want to. I just enjoy looking at the pictures. I'm sorry. World Naked Garden Day was on May 6th. So it's World naked garden day, doing plants in your yard, doing yard work, in the total nude. So it's got these pictures of these women who, one guy who garden, do their garden. I can't say that word correctly, in the total nude. So I thought it was funny. Okay, I didn't know I had this in the pile, but I do, and I don't want to, I'll mention as much as I can remember, too. But a friend of mine, my friend Matt, you heard him on my previous podcasts. He's on shows with me. Brought over a movie, so thought I'd be interested. Was like, dude, this was a movie actually I did want to see, and I never bothered to. And it was Swiss Army Man. Now, the movie is very silly. It's a little off the wall. It's like a light-hearted beat, independent film, so to speak. But it has the guy who plays Harry Potter as a dead corpse who comes back to life, not completely back to life, just enough to help this other guy who's trying to commit suicide, who got stranded on an island, this young guy who gets, again, marooned on an island, who is just ready to do himself in and hang himself, that miraculously does not, because he sees, I don't know the actor's name. Let's see what's in here. Doesn't matter. Wash ashore. The guy who played Harry Potter. I think the character's name was Manny. So he named the character, and after a while, the relationship grows enough that this lonely man who wanted to commit suicide brings Manny back to life. But the whole thing is, the main theme in this film is that Manny, the dead corpse, the guy who played in, what do you call it? In Harry Potter, who played Harry Potter, is full of gas. The whole movie theme is based upon his flagellants and his gas problem, and how it's not only supposed to entertain you, but it serves a key factor throughout the film, his ability to fart. Which kind of, now that I think of it, it's kind of funny, because wasn't it that Howard Stern was going to make a movie called Fart Man, and he never did? And now, not that this movie made a lot of money, but maybe Howard Stern was on to something. Now, Howard Stern was a goofy parody on a superhero where his only power was his ability to fart. So, but this did play, and actually got mixed reviews. Like, I think it was Ebert, who is still alive, Siskel and Ebert. Ebert actually loved the film. He really liked the film. Cisco, or whatever you say, Cisco, I don't know. Siskel is no longer alive. He passed away years ago. But Ebert, who is also just crazed to begin with, loved the film. I guess the premise of the movie, though, was that people, because there was another thing I did read in an article, that it was an accident, but this movie leads into almost, I would like to consider, because I've never seen the film, but I'm going to use this as a reference, Brokeback Mountain. Not that it goes that serious, but there's a little bit of a gay, so to speak, because that's the word they use, a gay relationship between this guy and this corpse, who was played by the guy who played in Harry Potter. Like a romantic relationship, so to speak, if that's the correct word to use. The movie is kind of weird. It's not something, I got it free on Amazon Prime, which says a lot because the movie's not that old. So my guess is maybe just because of how weird it is, it's like, well, we really can't charge you anything because you're not going to you either are going to like the film or you don't. But the end of the film is, to say the least, it's very weird. I didn't quite understand it, but I did. And again, the very last scene of the movie goes back to the whole theme of the film, that I wish I could find his name, that the character of Manny, and it even says, I'm looking at one of these articles, is Manny, the character of Manny's flagellants. I mean, that's that was the main theme the whole way through up to the bitter end. And there's more to it, but I'm just saying the corpse that was basically full of gas the whole freaking movie and saved the other character who was his friend, saved him many times because of his gas problem. It was a dead corpse that was filled with gas. So it's kind of weird. The premise of the movie, the last thing that was kind of what it was trying to leave you with, because there was some purpose for this movie. Well, the reason it was called Swiss Army Man, because his dead corpse was basically like the main character, his survival tool. It had everything on there he needed, like practically like a switchblade, a knife. What else is on a Swiss Army knife? Well, instead of having a Swiss Army knife, he had a Swiss Army Man that had like the tools to open up cans probably, or help him shave, or start a fire because he had a flint thing. He figured out how to, everything that's on a Swiss Army knife was on this dead corpse. Not that he like had a hook for an arm or anything like that, but just it was supposed to be equivalent to a Swiss Army knife. That's why it's called Swiss Army Man. But the bottom line is, the end note that I gathered from this film is, you need to live your life for yourself, not through others, or let's see, because let me see what it says at the very end, because it actually kind of is something I told a friend, and he said, well, that's not true. Not that he said that directly, but he said it indirectly. But then yet he likes this film, and this film kind of says the exact same thing I mentioned to a friend. I know that makes no sense to anyone, not even me. But let me see. Let me read the last sentence, if I can, of this article, which I got from Screen Prism. It should be in prison. No, screenprism.com, and it was an article titled, "What Message Does Swiss Army Man Send on Social Norms and Self-Delusion?" Because obviously that was another thing I was going back and forth with this film. Okay, this guy talking to a corpse, is this like him just delusionally keeping himself alive, or is this like for real? You don't know what is real and what is not. At the end, they kind of gave you the idea that even though when he ended up, the main character who ended up back in society after being marooned on an island and survived with this dead corpse, which kind of reminded me at first, the premise, I thought they were going to go with the idea of Weekend at Bernie's, which has nothing to do with that at all. But when he ends up in society, people see this guy talking to a dead corpse. And, but nobody else sees this dead corpse talk except the main character, the other character in the movie. I can't remember his name. I apologize. I'm trying to look for it. I could look it up. Manny is the only one. Okay, Daniel Radcliffe is the one from Harry Potter, by the way. He plays Manny. He plays the corpse. Now, what is the other guy's name? So finally I get it out after probably 45 minutes. I don't know. I wasn't talking that long about it, I don't think. Okay, lies surround us, from the lies we tell each other to lies we tell ourselves, which is the main point of the movie. This movie basically deals in such lies by creating a relationship in which these two types of lies are one of the same. Swiss Army Man is a story of a suicidal man trying to convince a corpse that life is worth living. So this man who tried to commit suicide had a turnabout from making friends with a corpse that eventually comes back to life, so to speak. Like he's like a living zombie, basically. He's not alive, the corpse, but he is a zombie of some sort. But not one that wants to eat you. He's one that wants to help you. As the two are lost in the woods, Hank, who is the guy who was the other person, actor, Paul Dano, is it Dano? D-A-N-O. I'm going to say it's Dano, must explain what society is like to an asthmatic corpse of Manny, who was Danny Radcliffe. So, Danny Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe. I'm sorry, I get it wrong. I said Danny. I meant Daniel Radcliffe, the guy who played in Harry Potter. Again, the movie's very quirky, but the bottom line, or the main point of the whole film, like the thesis in this film, so to speak, if I can use that word. I told you already, the corpse Daniel Radcliffe plays, is the main thing. Is his main power is his ability to flagellant, to fart a lot. I'm not going to use flagellant. That doesn't work properly. So it says, by displaying his farts loud and proud, Hank, who is the other character, Hank is the character played by Paul Dano or something like that. He's always embarrassed to show his true feelings or himself in public. But he learns, even to a corpse, he can't. The character that, what is his name again? Let me see. Paul plays, the actor Paul plays, Hank can't express his feelings openly to anyone, even to a dead corpse. So the corpse actually says to him at the end, the guy who, plays Manny says, if you can't even be honest with yourself or me, what's the purpose of even being alive again? So he says, maybe I should just be dead again. So he forced, the protagonist. Am I doing a good job? I don't think so. Probably not. He convinced the protagonist, like, hey, if you're not going to be honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest with even me, a dead corpse, why should I even be, alive? I might as well just be dead again because I can't even trust you. Does that make any sense? Probably not again. If it doesn't make any sense, then just see the film. Maybe you might like it, maybe you won't. It's a 50-50 chance. So anyway, I'm just trying to get out this last sentence and what it basically explains the whole thing. By displaying his farts, which would be the corpse, played by Harry Potter, loud and proud, or actually, I apologize, let me do it again. By displaying his farts, which it would be played by the protagonist, Hank, loud and proud, Hank is able to transcend society's expectations of him. Manny's journey allowed Hank to realize, here is what I'm trying to get to. Manny's journey allowed Hank to realize how he had been lying to himself and finally to live freely. Bingo. That's what I've been trying to say. I did tell a friend that, and I said that to him the other day. I said, listen, he's been really stressed out lately, and he's going to hear this, and he knows that I'm talking about him. And I said to him, you know what? I don't try to live society like everybody else wants me to. I've always been on a, beat. I've been on a, I can't remember that phrase, drummer of a different beat or beat of a different drummer, something like that. Do you know what I mean? I can't look that up, but I'm going to lose my train of thought if I do. And it's already going on 1 hour. So, and I told him this. I said, maybe this is what's stressing you out. You're living your life the way everybody else expects you to live it. Or at least you're trying to live up to other people's expectations. And sometimes that's like too stressful. You really got to live your life the way you want it to. And if people don't like it, that's tough shit. That's on them. That's not on you. And I guess he got a little bit like I misunderstood him. It's like, maybe I did, but I'm trying to tell him, this is how I live my life, though. I don't live by other people's expectations. And I have stopped doing that years ago because all it got me was a nervous breakdown very early in life, like at the age of 12. So, bottom line, let me read this last sentence again, because it was actually 2 sentences that I had read. Manny's journey allowed Hank to realize how he had been lying to himself and finally to live freely. The flagellant part of it was just an added joke in there, but the whole point was he was too afraid to be himself. He's, you have to, I'm using this as an example, not that it was used in the movie. You can't pick your nose in front of public. You can't it's a natural human thing to do. Everyone, even females, will do it. You're taught that you're not supposed to fart in public. You're not supposed to pick your nose that other people say. You shouldn't be doing it at all. You can't do this. You can't do that. You should have, 2.5 children, by 2.5 children by the age of so-and-so. You should have a house at this point. You're living your life the way, not that's what society calls the norm. Is that the norm for everyone? The norm is what society finds acceptable. And I try to tell my friend this. You got to do sometimes what makes you feel comfortable. If life tells you that you need to society says you need to live your life this way, and it's making you very uncomfortable, and it's actually causing you more harm, then you need to change something. You need to do something that you want to do and stop living your life through other people's eyes. That's the way I think. So I try to tell him this, and I think the one friend who introduced this film to me, I think this is what the movie is trying to say, that sometimes you need to kind of step out of what everybody else wants, and you got to step into what is right for you. And I try to tell him that, and I think I just, like everything else I do, I just have a really hard time, probably like on the show, of explaining myself, and that's what I wanted to say. So it is a good film, somewhat. Not excellent. It's all right. But it does have a good point to it. That's the only thing that I will take away from this film, that what they were trying to get to, like me, it might take me forever to try to say one thought. It could take me exactly 1 hour and 1 minute and 35 seconds, which it has, but there is a point, and that movie's the same way. It may take a long time to get to what they're trying to point out in this film, but it is a movie. It was like almost 2 hours long, almost. But the whole thing was, it had a point, and the point was, live your life yourself, and don't live because what happens is then you end up not doing anything. You kind of, like this guy ended up the main protagonist try to kill himself because he got himself so worked up on I can't live up to these expectations, so I might as well just kill myself. Well, there's a simple solution to that. Stop thinking for everybody else and think for yourself. Do what you feel more comfortable doing. Bottom line, that's it. Anyway, there's a couple stories, and it's over an hour, so I'm just going to read it was funny, well, not funny, from Norristown Patch. I don't understand this. Alleged finger licker / ice raid at local farm. Frat students charged in student's death. So that was a local story around where I live in Norristown. So it doesn't actually say where in this area, but it was from this area this story popped up. I'm trying to see. Oh, and there was another story I just saw tonight, and it's going to read the caption. It said from Channel 16. Again, I don't know where this is. It's Williamsport. Body pulled from Susquehanna River. Sorry, what am I? Elma Flood. Pulled from Susquehanna River in Williamsport, and that was just now yesterday. So Williamsport, they found a body. I don't know what's going on with our society. And let's see, there's some stories I've already actually read. Oh, they were talking about it, and if you're interested, it was all right, but if you have Netflix, the second season of Jessica Jones has just arisen. Is that a good word? I don't know. So, don't know much about it. I may or may not watch it. Yeah, a friend just sent me a text message on Facebook, so I'll see what he said. So, yeah, and by the way, it was funny, I did watch tonight, for those who are interested in, I like the new Doctor Who. I actually really like the new girl who plays the companion. I really, really do like her. And it was, so far, I would have to say, out of the first 4 episodes, because there's only like 12 episodes a season, the one that was on last night was my least favorite, but she's the one that actually seems to keep things together, because finally there's a chemistry between the actor who plays Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi, and the girl who plays this character of Bill, she's like really good. I mean, there's really good, excellent chemistry between these two people. And they actually made a point at this time of calling her, or she called the doctor, which was interesting. They called her she called the doctor grandfather, because they're trying to, because it's going to be the last official before they go on with the doctor's regenerations, because this would have been his death if he wouldn't be able to regenerate after this. If the doctor would die, he would be dead forever. So they made that this is going to go beyond that point, because they never knew the show was going to last this long. So, what is it? The new companion actually referred to the doctor as grandfather. So, it's kind of interesting, actually, because, and he did kind of make a whimsical comment or joke, kind of saying, yeah, well, in death there comes regeneration for, the Time Lords. And she questioned it, and he just kind of snubbed it off, like he didn't even hear it. He didn't want to answer. He kind of snubbed it off. So, and it's funny because, again, this would be the end of a normal Time Lord. This would be the end of them. And he knows that. And also, they're given the hint as well that Capaldi is leaving after the season, so they kind of made a little bit of a comment, and that's where that came in at like the 4th episode for the season already. That, hey, this is my last season. He kind of inadvertently mentioned it on tonight's episode. In the episode, the character of Doctor Who says that, hey, I want to be regenerating soon. He kind of senses that his death is coming near. So, yeah, so the whole thing was it was neat. Again, like the first 3 episodes were really good. They were beyond excellent, in my opinion. I've been watching Doctor Who since in its entirety since like the late 70s. So I've been watching it for quite a few years. And I mean, some of the new series it's just okay. I thought the first season, The Comeback, was interesting. There were some points that were pretty bad, but I mean, I liked it. And then some of the other episodes were either, not bad or just kind of stupid. And then they had these season breaks with episodes that had the Doctor not in there at all for a couple seasons, which I really did not like. And then, it's gotten better, though. It's gotten better. And, but it was always okay. But then, like, when they got this new girl who played the new companion so far, I've really liked her. And again, this last episode was probably my least favorite so far. It's only 4, but there's only going to be like 12 probably. So that's like, what is it? That's a good quarter of the way through the season already. Almost a little over a quarter. And, 1 out of 4 was okay. It wasn't even that bad. It actually had a good premise to it. It was interesting. But again, it was like my least favorite. But compared to like, since it's been back on the air, it's still far better than any other episodes, up to this. Because it's already actually been back, believe it or not. It came back, I think, in 2005. So, what is it, 2005 or 2004? Something like that. So, say it came back in 2005. It's 2017. 2005 to 2010 is 5 years. 2010 to it's going on. Yeah, it's going on almost 10 years now. Again, almost. So that being said, that it's that's quite a few episodes. And honestly, I this is like one of out of the new series. She's this new companion. I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. I'm bad with names, and it's so late too. I'm over an hour now, and I don't like that. She is like the best. She is the best. So I really like her. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen next, and I hope they keep her on way after Capaldi would leave. So, because she's really good. I don't want to see her leave right away. I want to see her stay for a while. So folks, that's my niche on things. Oh, and you know what? I must have. Oh no, good. I didn't take it down. Box Office Mojo, because I haven't seen it this weekend, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out. I have no interest in going to see it right away, because I really didn't think the first one was anything that interests me. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I just didn't like it that much. So it was a no-brainer it was going to come in number one. I mean, I kind of knew that, hey, if I don't go see it, and even a half a dozen other people are not going to go see it, it's not going to make it any less profitable than it is. So, lo and behold, this past weekend, it made over $145 million. It cost $200 million to make, but it already, in one weekend, the opening weekend, it just came out just 2 days ago, it's made over 3/4 of what it cost to make it back. It almost made, it's broken out, and that's just in the U.S., so I don't know how much it made overseas, because that's the other thing. Let me see if I can pop that open. Okay, yeah, it did surpass what it cost to make. Domestically, it made $145 million. Foreign, it made $282 million, so it made a total of over $427 million opening weekend. That's unbelievable. It made back and then some, so it definitely made a profit on Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So, not also, but 2, the number 2, Roman numeral 2, or number 2, volume 2, whatever. It's number 2. So, that is actually, again, that's very impressive for a movie like that. I don't want to see it right away, and I don't need to. I just don't have time also. I'll see. So, there is that. A friend told me, actually, my friend Matt actually voice texted me tonight. He just let me know. He said, hey, Walter, you might want to go to, you definitely want to go, quote unquote, down to the city to the comic book convention down in Philly. And it's like, honestly, I had no reason to, but apparently this year they are pulling a lot more celebrities. It's not even a comic book convention as much as it is a celebrity convention. A lot of big, well-known celebrities. And even Gene Simmons from Kiss is going to be down there, which I already knew about. But I hate to tell him or even think about it. I don't listen to Kiss. I know a friend of mine, Todd, who told me about Gene Simmons being down there, and he says, I'm not going to even do it. Because Gene Simmons is asking, I think, like $500 just for an autograph or a meet and greet. It's like the man already has enough money. Does he really need more? So it's going to be kind of crazy. I usually try to go to the one in summertime or in June. I think it's next month. But I really can't afford that kind of money. And right now, I don't know if I told you folks, I pulled the card. I'm looking for it now, and then I lost it. I kind of threw it aside. Oh, here it is. I started going, and this is like $100 a visit. And I don't know if I have the patience to try to file to get insurance to cover it, because they may not. It might just be a dead-end issue. But right down from my work in Lansdale, there's this place that does acupuncture. Now, I've used acupuncture in the past, and it worked quite well. You have to go a few times, but for carpal tunnel and other like pains and cramps I've had in the past. Menstrual cramps, of course. No, I'm seriously. I've had really severe carpal tunnel in the past, and from my job and the repetitive motion and stuff. And some woman where I worked said, yeah, I tried acupuncture, and she said the first 2 times it didn't work for her, but by the third time it kicked in and all the pains went away. I'm not even kidding. So the one I went to in the past was $100 a visit. This one's like $100 a visit. So this week I got to go both Wednesday and Saturday. And so bottom line is, if I have to go twice a week, that's going to be $200 a week. This week it's going to be closer to $300 because I just started, and then I got to go an additional 2 more times this week. So this week's the most expensive. Now, all this overtime, I've been working a lot, that's why I haven't done shows, is going to pay for this stuff. And I expected some doctor bills to come through, so I stashed money aside strictly for doctor bills, but I didn't expect it to, it's going to be like $200 right off the top every week that I'll be using for these acupuncture appointments. Now, I have what's called trigger finger. I didn't have it before. It's still pretty painful, but honestly, even after the first visit, it ever so slightly less than before because I couldn't even bend my finger. Now I can kind of bend it. It pops when I bend it, but at least it's moving. Before, it didn't even move. And it's funny because another problem I have, and again, it's going to get only better, it won't get worse. And generally, once it starts to, straighten itself out, it'll last a couple years before it comes back again. The carpal tunnel, the trigger finger, probably, I assume. But one of the problems I know I had in the past, I have, again, is I get total numbness either in my arms or my hands. Like, they just basically go completely numb. So it's kind of scary, too. So last night, even when I was sleeping, I had that problem. I fell asleep and my hands were completely numb. But I could just at least shake them or just hold them up for like a second, and the circulation went right back into the hands. Before, that didn't even work. That did not work at all. So the thing is, once it starts, the acupuncture takes place, it does only get better. It does not get worse, and it's more effective than medicine, trust me. That's why it's still, after all these centuries probably, that acupuncture is still a practicing technique for healing, problems with your body, because it really does work, trust me. I'm not just saying it. Anyway, I need to leave everybody go. It's going past or on to 1 o'clock. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed this show. I don't know because I don't really get much feedback. I can kind of guesstimate on geographically where people are listening to me and who is listening to me. But otherwise, I don't know. But everyone, have a good whatever. I'm not going to say have a good night or have a good week or even have a good month because I don't know when I'll be back. So all I can just say is enjoy yourself, and I hope you're enjoying my shows, and I will be back as soon as I can again, and hopefully it won't be that long. So everyone, I will be back whenever. This is Walter from iWalter, and have a good one. Signing off for now.